Bora try to get Florian Lipovitz up the road. Huge fight to make the breakaway, and Marc Soler makes a crucial mistake. This was the Vuelta Stage 10, the first day after the rest day. We've travelled 1,000 Ks. We're in the north of Spain now, which will be the riders will be pleased about because it's about 20 degrees cooler, and we had a medium mountain stage with the last climb being about 9Ks at 6%. A great opportunity for riders like McNulty on UAE to get in the break, Tejada for Astana, Israel with Woods, and Wout van Aert also starts to move. We had a 15K, 4% gradual climb where we started to see more than just breakaway hopefuls jumping. Sepp Kuss is here, as well as Vlasov, Schjelmoser, and Christian Rodriguez with Jack Haig as well. So high-quality climbers and riders on the outskirts of GC trying to get in the breakaway because it's been a bit of a free-for-all in the previous stages with Bora not controlling, and indeed they're doing the opposite. Bora tried to get Florian Lipovitz in the break, and Decathlon having none of it. They marked that with Ben O'Connor with a domestique in front of him. So Decathlon did a really good job controlling the race. I would say a non-threatening, suitable break goes to Alpecin, Eddie Dunbar. It's near the end of the climb. I'm thinking, this is it. The break's gone. This is the right composition. No one on GC. And Bora, they jump with, I don't know if it's Adria or Aliotti. That's sort of fine. I guess he wants to get in. And Ben O'Connor says to Amaury, don't react. He says, don't go. Just let him go, let him go. And then the plan seems to be to try and bridge, I guess, Danny Martinez into the break because your man looks behind, and then Martinez, I think it is, who jumps. And then Decathlon are like, well, you're not having two go across with Martinez, and that gets closed down. So Bora, I guess, closed that down. They really wanted someone in, and Lipovitz on the highway. He's there in that white jersey trying to get in this move with Pacher, Soler, and Van Aert. Soler counterattacks. Le Cerf gets on the back of Israel and Lotto Destiny and bridges across, and now three are ahead. Finally, three men get clear. FDJ want to be in. They've been really, really good this race. Kung pulls super hard, and then Pacher counters with Yuri Holman. They're the last two. The break then for another 30 Ks. There's a huge fight to get in the break. Israel have missed it. Equipo Farmer have missed it. Jayco have missed it. EF have missed it. But Decathlon eventually put the brakes on. They don't want the bonus seconds at the finish available to Primoz Roglic. So the break is going to win. How much leash they get? It goes up to like 5-6 minutes. Soler's probably the best climber in the breakaway that people need to be worried about. Van Aert the best all-rounder, obviously. And we get to the first climb, 6:18, so there isn't that much pressure from behind, but they cooperate pretty well. Like Holman, Le Cerf, they're young guys, so they don't really set their stall out early to try and get away from Van Aert or Soler. And yeah, the GC teams really just pace for positioning at the end of these climbs. There was no concerted chase at that point. Second climb, Marc Soler starts to do his characteristic pretending like he's cooked. He did this on stage 15, which Wout van Aert was in the breakaway with him in the Tour de France last year. And after Van Aert, Holman is actually cooked. He can't follow Pacher's little acceleration on the steeper slope. And so we're starting to see who's the strongest in this breakaway. Bora, though, before the last climb, before the second last climb, absolutely smash it into the base. They pace super hard. They drop Decathlon's domestiques, Lefay and Amaury, and then they lose Denzen Gamper, and Aliotti's on the front talking to Vlasov. What's the plan? Like, are we pacing all out? And then Vlasov talks to him. I don't know whether Roglic didn't feel it. I don't know what the plan was. I don't know whether they just burned through the rouleurs too quickly, but they just stop. So maybe they were trying to see if there was a crack in Ben O'Connor, and there wasn't, but that was a bit strange, I would say. But here's the most interesting part of the stage. 5K short valley before the last climb. It's refueling time. Le Cerf goes to the T-Rex Mobile to get a bit on. It's just behind the breakaway, and Marc Soler, he takes his pull, and then he gives the universal sign for, I'm going to get a drink. He's talking to the front of the race. I need to get a sip of water. And look where the UAE car is. The UAE car's right there. It's right behind Soler. And the Alpecin car's further behind. So I don't know what happens here. The UAE car loses the order, and the Alpecin car goes ahead of Soler. And you see Holman takes his bidon right behind the breakaway, and then maybe the Commissaire's car comes between Alpecin and the UAE car, but the UAE car was just behind the breakaway when Soler went back to get some water. And then you see Holman, he's right back on. The four keep pedaling all out. Soler's actually quite a bit behind the breakaway when he's trying to get his two bidons and gel before the final climb. You see, it's foreshortening. It's a real distance, even though, okay, yeah, they get the sticky bidon to get back on, but I don't know why the UAE car lost priority. And then there's an intermediate sprint coming up. So right at this moment, Soler takes the next bidon, Van Aert starts to sprint, and everyone except maybe Pacher thinks he's just going to take the intermediate sprint points. But why would he need to sprint 100 meters before it? No one's going to contest the intermediate sprint for him. Soler sees it and then decides to go get another bidon. Van Aert's up the road and Soler waits. Pacher senses the danger. He's about to try and sprint across. Lecerf is already all out sprinting, and here Soler loses the stage opportunity. He goes to get another bidon. Holman's too cooked to close it, and Wout van Aert's gone clear up the road. Lecerf's, 58 kilos. He can't close it. Pacher snap closes it before the sprint. And maybe Soler thought he could make it back on the climb, but now he's got a 50-meter gap to Wout van Aert. He's got a pissed-off Lecerf who's not going to help him pull. Holman's pretty cooked and he's going to drop on the climb immediately. And Pacher's probably the second strongest in this breakaway, and he's gone to join Wout van Aert, and he's collaborating with him all out. So smart move from Wout van Aert. Pick the right moment. 10k 6% climb coming up. The first 4ks are steeper though, where you would think that Soler could put the others under pressure, but now he's trying to close 25 seconds. Pacher's collaborating. Soler's worried about Lecerf on his wheel, who's not pulling all out. Probably he's annoyed. And the stage is gone, basically. When you see the two guys attacking each other and the last 2Ks of this really level off and suit the big engines, it looks like there's only going to be one winner, with that gap extended massively on the plateau, with Pacher being pretty generous, I would say. With the gap at 120, he didn't need to pull anymore with Van Aert, who's the favourite in the sprint, obviously. I mean, he does eventually throw in a dig with 1.7 Ks to go. And FDJ, as I said, they're really on a good level. Gaudu, Rochard, Pacher, Kung in this Vuelta, but it's just a difficult situation when you're one-on-one against Van Aert in a sort of downhill false lap finish like this. So Pacher leads it out, secures second place, and Van Aert duly finishes it off for his third victory in this Vuelta in a row. The race suits him, the parkour suits a versatile sprinter like himself, and that's 3 wins in 3 a little bit different ways. Winning ahead of Pacher, then Soler, Lecerf, Holman, Uralski, Narvaez won the bunch sprint behind Kung, Bennett and Tejada. Here's what Van Aert had to say after the stage.
Yeah, it was really my aim to be in the breakaway, but I had a hard time on the first climb, and actually when I almost gave up, I gave one more try just before the top. But still then, I think for 50 kilometers we really needed to fight to get a bit of a gap. But to be honest, I think it was in my favor, because in the final, the climbers I had in the group, they had maybe less fresh legs, and that's how I won.
In terms of GC, nothing happened. They EF paced a little bit on the climb, then stopped. Don't know if Carapaz attacked. Tomorrow we could see attacks though. It's a 3k 9% climb, much closer to the finish. But another day down with Ben O'Connor not losing any time, which is a victory for him and a victory for Decathlon, who looked very solid today indeed as well. Until tomorrow's video, ciao.